Reggaeville family, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Take Me Places. The sound system culture is a crucial part of Jamaican music and Jamaican music history, because what if the music was created and was never played out there, right? A man who has spent almost a lifetime, or at least 54 years, right, of his lifetime for his sound and the sound of his sound system, a pioneer in dubplate, pioneer in clashing, a man dedicated to Jamaican music, compassionate and committed to Jamaican music. With me is Noel Harper, better known as Papa Jaro, the father of Kilamanjaro sound system. How is everything, sir?
I'm fine, thank you very much, Munchy.
This is a very special place to you. Tell me, where are we and why did you take me to this place?
All right, this is One Whitehall Avenue, known to many as the Dub Store. This is my recording studio. It was built specifically to music dub plate for the sound system. But later on, we started to do work for other sound systems as well.
Mm-hmm. And you've been in this very place for more than 20 years, right?
No, I've been at this place for more than 30 years.
Little miscalculation there.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Still, this...
Time flies so much I can't believe it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
At the same time, this is still an historic interview because this might be the last interview in this very space,
yes,
right?
This might be the last interview at this location because we're in the process of, you call it now, transiting to a new location. Can't disclose that as yet.
But don't worry yourself, it's just another point in the history, right? So it's all good, just movements. But let us go back to the very beginning. In the summer of 1969, that is the birth date of Kilamanjaro.
Right.
Because you saw your brother, and I think you saw some friends, they had sound system, and you wanted to do that as well. What fascinated you about music that you wanted to have your own sound system, and how did music enter your life?
Well, as you just mentioned, I had friends with sound system, and my own brother had a sound system. And I fell in love with the sound system and wanted something like that for myself. But that was during school days. So I had to wait until I was free to do my own thing. So as soon as I graduated from high school, I decided that I'm going to start to build my sound system. Started off modestly, quite small, but it grew quickly. And in a short space of time, I was in the dancehall.
So do you recall what the first pieces of equipment were that you bought?
Yes, the very first amplifier I bought was a Sony integrated TA1140 amplifier.
Okay, wow.
I have pictures of it.
Wow, okay.
And the next piece of amplifier I bought was a Sansui BA3000 power amplifier.
Okay. So you started from there, and the sound system grew pretty fast, I would say. The popularity and stuff. What do you think was the thing that people gravitated to about Kilamanjaro?
Well, one thing I started out doing from day one, I wanted to have something that sounded very good. And I made every effort I could to buy good quality equipment and put good speaker system together and tune it as best as I could. And friends and fans started to tell me how much they liked the sound. And then from way back, I was somebody who liked Studio One music and also Channel One music. And I used to play a lot of those. And somehow At that time, people was gravitating toward that kind of music. So little by little, we started to develop a fan base. And I was surprised myself to see how fast things was going. And it kept growing until I reached a point where I had to get help, because in the early days, I was the one doing everything and also playing the sound system. At that stage, a friend of mine introduced me to Ainsley Gray. Ainsley was playing a little sound system in Scotland and also working in a record shop, Aquarius, at the time in Halfway Tree. So when he came to me and talked to me about playing the sound, I accepted him because I needed the help. And the minute I was able to accept the help, things started to move even faster because I could accept more events.
Wow.
Because at the time I had a regular 9-to-5 job.
Yes. Okay. Can you explain to me how dances or sound system parties would look like them time back then, and how did that look like? Because you had a selector, right? Or you played the sounds, but you had DJs coming in and DJing on the sound as well, right?
Yeah, well, in those days, sound system was quite different from it is now, because every sound system back in the days used to have singers that work with the sound and DJs that actually toast. The selector never usually say anything in the microphone. All the selector would do is find the tunes and play the tunes. And the DJs, first of all, you would play like a vocal song. And then you flip it and play the flip side, which would be the rhythm version. And at that time, the singer would grab the microphone and sing something on it. And then the DJ would take it and start DJing. And, you know, it was like a mini stage show, and people usually come out to watch this because it was very interesting in those days. And the funny thing is that dancehall scene now is quite different from then. Because in those days, you would find a man and a woman dancing together. No, everybody they separate and dancing separately.
Right. That's a whole different story as well. Tell me a bit, would you say that, especially back in those days where not everyone had a TV, was sound system also something that was important socially for society, something where somewhat of a means for people, to express their opinion, for the artists to deal with day-to-day problems they had in a different way?
Well, I'm glad you bring up that because, as you say, back in those days, television was something quite scarce. Only a few people had television. So going to a dance hall was perhaps one of the nicer places to go and have some fun on a weekend. So the dance hall, in those days, it actually played a very valuable role in entertaining people. And people go to the dance hall not just for music, but to socialize and meet with each other. Because you didn't have no whole lot of movie theater or nothing. So this was a very good way of meeting and entertaining yourself.
So you mentioned the singers and DJs that DJ on a sound. Some people that DJ for Jaro were Early B and a man named Supercat, right?
But before that, I can't forget one of my pioneer DJ. Very few people might know the name, but his name is Old Hard.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of his lines when he would DJ, so that name stuck on him. But Early B and Supercat was two of the main DJs, but we can't forget Burro Banton.
Right, exactly.
And then, of course, there's another DJ, Jim Kelly, and can't forget Lone Ranger.
Right.
And there's a whole lot more. You have Dirty Harry, And then later on, you have like German. And of course, there was Super Cat brother, Junior Cat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And, you know, the list goes on.
So would these DJs be loyal to one specific sound system, or they would go on one day to the dance of one sound and DJ on that, and then the next day go to the next sound system?
Well, loyalty is a thing, you know, that I don't know if I should say it breaks down or it's adjusted as soon as, the more famous the DJ get. Mm-hmm. And then it's like the loyalty start to win. Mm-hmm. Get smaller and smaller. But I can understand that, because when a DJ is young and not well known, they'll use the sound system to get themselves broadcast and until they reach a certain level now, and you know, they start to get a lot of good offers and tours, guest DJ work, stage shows, and you know, it's attractive, so you can't blame them for doing that.
And our next problem would be that you would be booked for a dance, you would want to bring the DJs, but the DJs might have a next booking, right? Maybe even a foreign, right? Yeah. But eventually that led to something very special, right? Because tell me about that time when you had a dance and you wanted to come with Rankin Trevor and you Brown. And what did you do? You got very creative, right?
Well, Rankin Trevor and you Brown was in the very early days when I was playing the sound myself. Mm-hmm. I can remember we had a dance, and Rankin Trevor and you Brown, they had another sound system that they usually operate. And as I would say, they had more ties to that sound system than my sound system. Mm-hmm. And it would be detrimental if they didn't turn up when their boss called them. Mm-hmm. And because I realized we made all the plans for them, and they told me they're not going to be able to make it, I decided that I was going to carry them to the studio and record them and actually cut the dub plates with them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I took those dub plates to the dance tonight. And when I started to play those dub plates, everybody was tearing down the gate. The promoter had problem to manage the crowd. And when they came around the sound system to see you Brown and Rankin Trevor, and they didn't see you Brown and Rankin Trevor, but they saw a dub plate, the excitement get even more. Okay. Because in those days, you wouldn't find DJs doing dub plates because they used to do it live. Mm-hmm. And everybody wanted to see the dub plate, so more people kept piling in.